There are moments in boxing when everything feels upside down, when the sport becomes less about belts and rankings and more about energy, the kind that shifts arenas, divides fans, and tests legacies. This is one of those moments. Gervonta "Tank" Davis, a fighter raised in discipline and built in violence, now stands across from a name that lives in the chaos of modern fame: Jake Paul. But while the world debates the spectacle, Tank trains in silence, unbothered. Because to him, boxing has never been a show. It's been survival. It's been purpose. For Davis, this fight isn't about clout. It isn't about clicks or numbers. It's about reminding the world what separates a fighter from a performer, what separates craft from noise. Every day, behind the scenes, Tank carries the same fire he's carried since Baltimore's rough beginnings. The noise outside never mattered. The cameras, the critics, the controversies, they've always been background, static to the only language he truly understands: dedication. In a sport where many chase fame, Gervonta chases focus. He doesn't talk about being the best, he lives it through his consistency, through these small, disciplined acts that the public never sees. His greatness wasn't built on motivation, it was forged in repetition. In that cold space where nobody is watching, and the only thing keeping you moving is that quiet voice saying, "Keep going." As he prepares for Jake Paul, that voice grows louder, not out of anger or ego, but out of principle. Because to Tank, boxing is sacred, and anyone who steps into his world, entertainer or not, must pay respect through pain. Every generation has its warrior, someone who represents the essence of the sport beyond the lights. Gervonta Davis is that figure for this era. He embodies the discipline that has slowly vanished from boxing's mainstream. He is not a content creator. He is not a marketing act. He is the proof that dedication can still outshine popularity. The Jake Paul fight is not a distraction. It's a statement. A statement that no matter how much the sport changes, the core truth remains the same. The ring doesn't care who you are outside of it. Once the bell rings, it strips away everything: the fame, the followers, the image, and what's left is who you really are. And that's where Gervonta feels most alive. Inside those ropes, he doesn't see an influencer. He sees another man who needs to be taught a lesson about respect. Not through words, but through pain, timing, and precision. The kind that only comes from years of sacrifice. Tank's camp isn't about theatrics. There's no circus, no noise, just hours of mental warfare, solitude, and structure. Every day feels the same by design. Because greatness doesn't grow in excitement. It grows in boredom, in repetition, in doing the same thing until it becomes second nature. And that's where Davis thrives. He knows that when you master your mind, the world outside loses power. That's why he remains calm, even when the internet turns every matchup into a meme or debate. He's built an unshakable focus that comes from years of earning his way up, not being handed attention. Gervonta doesn't talk much. He never has. His silence has always spoken louder than words. Because behind that quiet look there's a storm. Years of hunger, nights of struggle, lessons learned through failure. To him, every fight is personal. Every opponent represents another chapter in his war against doubt. People see Jake Paul and think it's a mismatch, a show fight. But Davis doesn't see it that way. He treats every man who signs that contract with the same seriousness, because he knows complacency destroys champions. Discipline keeps them alive. When Tank trains, he's not preparing for Jake. He's preparing for himself, for the version of him that must stay sharp, stay humble, stay ready. The fight isn't about proving something to the world, it's about proving to himself that he's still locked in, still connected to the grind that built him. That's the beauty of Gervonta's mindset. He's mastered the art of not being distracted by fame. He's learned that true focus is doing what needs to be done, even when the world misunderstands it. Especially then. Dedication over hype. You see, Jake Paul built his empire on attention, while Gervonta built his on dedication. That's the difference. And that difference, well, it can't be bridged by money or followers. It's something internal, something carved into the soul. Davis understands that people might call this fight entertainment. But to him, boxing has never been entertainment. It's been his way out, his way forward, his way to express himself. The ring is where he tells his story, not through words, but through violence disguised as art. That's why he never underestimates, because the moment you take someone lightly, you betray the craft. Tank's loyalty is to the craft, not the crowd. To him, this isn't Jake Paul. It's another test of his own discipline. Another moment to prove that consistency beats spectacle. That the fighter who stays grounded always outlasts the one chasing noise. Every punch he throws comes from that philosophy, built from countless hours of work that nobody records. He doesn't train for the camera, he trains for that single second when instinct takes over, when the lights blur and only the truth of your preparation remains.